So when looking for school information, I found this interesting website on the Minnesota Department of Education. Now, as typical with state entities, they don't report how nice all the teachers are, things like that. They just report data like did kids pass tests and things like that. But this is an interactive map, and so you can kind of go over here and choose what you want to show up on the map. So if you wanted to, you could take off that satellite feature. If you like looking at a map like this a little bit better, you can add in the cities. You can see it gets pretty busy because we have got a big, huge map on here. But then what you can do is you can start to zoom in on specific areas. So we want to look in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. So I'm just going to use my zoom in tool to draw a box around that, and it's going to zoom in. And so there's St. Paul there. So now I can use my pan tool here to pan back and forth and really start to zoom in. Use the zoom in tool to really start to look at specifically the areas that you might be willing to live in. So let's say that's the range that you're willing to drive. So then it pulls that up. We can switch back to satellite view here, kind of clears things up a little bit, takes away all the roads and such. So then we can add in the city names we wanted to, take those away. If you care about libraries, you can see the libraries. And if you get real particular, you can go in and look at actual schools. So one thing you can do is you can use this identify tool, click on that, and you can go in and click on the district, and you go to district report card. And that pulls up another page in MDE's website that talks about that district's overall scores, their report card. You'll want to take a look at a few different districts before you start making judgments. As time goes on, as we get closer and closer to the idea that all kids will be average, more and more schools are going to fail. So you'll find that it's not that uncommon for school districts to have lots of failing schools, especially as the years go on. You can also look at different reports over here. So we can look at the student-teacher ratios for the St. Paul Public School District. So you can see right now the student-teacher ratio is 16:1. So here's the overall student count and the overall licensed teacher count. This would include paraeducators and other support services staff. You can go and look at the demographics of the community. So here you can see this is the demographics of just the student population. So you can see it's pretty diverse. And here's their special education population, LEP, things like that. Just so you get some ideas of what that is. And there's other things that you can look here too to find out stuff about the school districts. Going back to our interactive map, if you want to hone in a little bit more, like let's say you've finally decided that, you know what, I really want to be in the South St. Paul area. It's kind of a nice older community. So you can zoom in on the South St. Paul. And then once you get closer, you can click on the schools option here so you can actually look at individual schools. So now I can use my identify tool to go in here and look at Lincoln Center Elementary. I want to look at the school, Lincoln Center Elementary, and I can click on school report card. So now it should pull up Lincoln Center Elementary, it does. And so you get the same information that the district had, except you get it on a school-by-school basis. Another thing that may help you on here is if you have decided that you definitely don't want to look at charter schools or non-public schools or things like that, you can select and deselect these as you like. You can see they're kind of color-coded here. So here's the private schools, here's the charter schools. So you can do that to look at all sorts of different various schools. So here's a bit more information for you to get you on your way. Hopefully it helps you out. Good luck.